Today on Clubhouse Gas, friend of the show, Chrissy Rapp, is here to talk about slap hitting in softball. Something I have no idea about, so we're just going to turn the show over to her, which, from the comments, people seem to like when I'm gone. So, I'm gone. And that's today on Clubhouse Gas.
The main goals of a slap hitter would be A, to get on base, and B, to put pressure on the defense. Slap hitting is becoming more and more popular, and coaches have realized that if you've got a speedy kid and they can make contact from the other side, that it can be a big threat and advantage for scoring runs because they tend to get on base. The ideal candidate that you would want to look for is somebody who is A, very fast and has good hand-eye coordination and maybe isn't as powerful from the right side, and you could switch them over and get them working on the fundamentals of slapping. The earlier the better. If they're 8, 9, 10 and you want to get them working on it, go for it. Then they'll feel more comfortable with it and they'll really get the footwork down. The first thing to Actually, the main thing is just the footwork for slapping. Obviously, your hands are going to be switched, right hand on the bottom, left hand on the top. First step, and I've seen this done a couple of different ways. I'll go over 2 different styles that I've seen. I've seen them both be very effective, and it's pretty much what the athlete is the most comfortable with, as long as their upper body is still making good contact, or turning so they can make good contact with the ball. First step is going to be back with your front foot. And then you're taking a crossover step as you're coming through to make contact. So it's going to open the hips and shoulders are going to stay square. And then as you make contact, the right foot is actually going to be slightly off the ground as you make contact and go through. So you want that crossover step with your back foot to be pretty close to the front of the box as you're coming through. That's one thing you want to watch. The front foot cannot be out of the box because then you would be making contact outside of the box, which is not allowed. So we're going to go back, come through, and make contact. So if you see this with a ball, I'm here, I'm set, coming back, and driving it off. One more with the same footwork, taking the right foot back, crossover step, and driving it off. Ideally, they would want to drive this toward the shortstop because that tends to be the deepest player on the field and that gives them the most time. At the same time, you'll have kids who can drive it into the outfield this way, which is fine as well. So it just depends on the situation. And I'll go over one more style of footwork here. The other one that I've seen, and this tends to be for kids who are just used to, if they're hitting from the right side, they're obviously striding with their left foot. So it just lets them pick that foot up, and then the other steps are the same. So now your first step is your left foot stepping back, but that's the only thing moving. Then you're still coming back across and driving. And then you're already taking off to first base. You've got an extra couple steps to get down to the bag. Once you have that down, the other main thing to watch for, and it's kind of a common error, is that when the batter is coming through, they're anxious to get down to first base, and you might see them open up and kind of take their power away. So you want to make sure that they really stay focused here on contact, so shoulders are still square to the ball, so then as they drive it off, then they can take off. But you don't want them taking off before they make contact. So you don't want them bailing because they're not going to be able to, A, hit an outside strike, and then it also takes your head off of the ball and just makes it harder to make solid contact. So in addition to the footwork, we want to stay right on the ball, make good contact, and then take off. So keep them from bailing out with their foot too far. So I'm actually going towards the pitcher and not first base. I'm coming right out to the front of the box and making good contact. And this also helps to see if it's a ball, because if I'm coming here and I don't like it, I'm pulling back. So it's not an automatic. It still has to be a strike. Coming through, I don't like it, and I'm just going to continue the footwork just without the swing. So I'm not going to attack the ball.